Hey mamas, have you ever felt so lonely? Let me tell you about my last week. I dropped my oldest off at college and left her there 4 hours away, freaking out, drive home, crying, bawling, feeling lonely, come home to my son at school, house is empty, I'm by myself, freaking out. What is this life? This is loneliness. This is empty nesting. Have you been there? I'm with you. We're about to talk about this, how to overcome loneliness as a single parent. Stay tuned. Hey mamas, I'm Brandy Lydon, host and founder of Mom, You're Not Alone. I'm also a local realtor and investor here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So let's dive into loneliness as a single parent. First up, we want to, number one, realize that you are not alone. I love this number one because this is the podcast, Mom, You're Not Alone. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. So according to some research, 32% of U.S. children are living with an unmarried parent. 21% are living with a single mom, 4% with a single father, and 7% with cohabiting parents. So you are not alone as a single mom, and you're not alone in your loneliness. So with that statistics, it's kind of mind-blowing if you think about there is over half of the kids in this world that do not have your basic mom and dad, married parents lifestyle that we think is our perfect little world that we're all supposed to live in. So you're not alone in that. Just know the research and know the statistics on that. Number two, let go of the life that you thought you'd have. This is a good one. So this is going to be mindset. And we've talked about mindset on another episode, but you may feel isolated from your married friends and you may think that they can't relate to what you're going through, but it's important to realize that all moms experience loneliness to varying degrees, whether they are married, divorced, or single. And so I'll dive into this a little bit. So single moms, obviously, right? You may or may not have a significant other, someone that you spend time with. And so in that aspect of adulting, that could feel lonely, right? But we're all moms and we all have kids. And depending on the age that they are, they may need us a lot when they're little and they may, be teenagers and not need us at all. Then you've got divorced moms, and this is very similar to single moms. You've been living that married life and then you're divorced, and so now you're figuring out what that new life looks like for you. And then with the kids situation, you are having your kids maybe half the time, so you're all in, completely devoted when you have your kids, and then you have a couple days off and you're trying to figure out what does that life look like just to myself. I get to do whatever I want for a couple days, kind of a thing. That's divorce life. And then you've got married, and I think that in any great marriage there are still some situations where we have, a husband that travels, or a husband that has work events, or golfs a lot, or, does whatever their hobby is, fishes a lot, and there's still loneliness even in that marriage. And then you've got like my situation, you're widowed, you've lost your husband, and now you're trying to figure out this new life as what does that look like, right? So you don't have that other person, and then you are, have your kids, and you're trying to figure out all the household duties moving forward. So loneliness, we all experience it. The trick is to recognize that when you're having that grass is greener on the other side thought in your head, or when you're looking at other moms through the distorted happy lens of social media, everyone is fighting their own battles behind those closed doors after all. And sometimes, if you think back to COVID, when loneliness became super common for many people, we're all fighting those very similar battles behind closed doors. So what we want to do is let go of that idealistic life that you thought you were going to have. Nobody has that. Real life is a little messy, and let go of that mom guilt while you're at it. Number three, you've got to realize that nothing lasts forever. This is just a brief stage of life. All the highs and all the lows. It may not always be comfortable, but we have to remember to still find joy in this season of our kids' lives. Here, we're going to go through a couple ideas to help. So filling our time with work, chores, scheduling, days out, PTA duties can sometimes be our way of ignoring the loneliness that we feel, and acknowledging it is the first step. So we definitely need to acknowledge it, but just admitting that we feel lonely sometimes and that it's fine can help you to move forward. So number one, you want to make sure that you have downtime and you don't just fill up all this time with jobs and chores and work. Obviously, there are things that we need to do around the house, but we have to balance these things that are just for you. So they are often not big things, but it could just be like taking a book out on the porch and reading, planting some flowers, baking, listening to your favorite music, podcast, taking a bath, whatever is is considered you time for you. So you're still on your own when you're doing them, but you're enjoying that time and appreciating the peace being on your own. Number 2, building a strong network of friends and people that you can turn to. Making friends as an adult is super hard, but parenting without friends is way harder. So there's some ideas. You could join your kids' PTA, you could chat with the moms that you always see at the park, the friends that you meet when you're exercising, whether it's like a boot camp or a CrossFit or whatever that you do. You're going to meet these people and they're going to be going to this exercise class regularly, so you'll become friends with them. So that can feel scary, especially for a single parent. The best way to fight that is to make sure you have people around you to support you, and when you're feeling alone, you've got people there. Number 3 is going to be trying to get outside and exercise. So we touched on that a little bit in number 2, but this is huge. So I think just vitamin D is amazing for us, and just being able to walk outside, do something active can help clear our minds. And number 4, another idea would be staying involved with local groups. So maybe it could be a charity that you like or something to do with your church, serving. And the 5th one is going to be counseling. And this one is something that I feel like we have the stigma around counseling, therapy, whatever that it is. And a lot of us think of it as, oh, there's something wrong with us if we're going to go to counseling, or there's something wrong with us if we have to go to a therapist. But in reality, this is somebody that's helping us, take a look. They are a step away from our outside life, and they're looking at it from an outside lens, and they're able to help us see things that we can improve on, things that we're doing great at, things that we can improve on parenting, etc. So I think counseling is a big one. All right, mamas. So if you like the content today, click and subscribe to YouTube at Brandy Lydon. And if you really like this video on loneliness, check out my other episode on overcoming grief as a single mom. And if you have not joined our Facebook group, Mom, You're Not Alone, I invite you to join today, because Mom, you're not alone.